So, you want to learn to play Axe, but with no experience or knowledge of this very complex character, you seek guidance and a helping hand. Well, look no further, you've come to the right place. But first, let me just ask you one question. Do you think you've got the testicular fortitude required to master the meanest, most badass motherfucker to ever grace the Oglodi tribe? Oh, you do? Alright, well, let's get started. Alright, Axe's Q ability is called Berserker's Call. Basically, Axe yells at his enemies so passionately that they have no choice but to turn around and fight him. Axe, on the other hand, gets such a raging hard-on for fighting that he gains extra armor and is able to shrug off a lot of the damage taken by this. Axe's W is called Battle Hunger. You pick a target, you yell at them, and they become so pumped the fuck up that until they kill something, they just keep taking damage. Axe's E is called Counter Helix. This is the ability that'll be doing the majority of your damage. When anything tries to attack Axe, he has a 17% chance of bitch slapping any poor soul that happens to be near him. And finally, Axe's ultimate is called... Wait, where's the little icon thing? Where's... Culling Blade is what makes you the badass bag of dicks you were born to be! When a pussy enemy loses enough health, put them out of their misery by insta-killing that sorry bastard! This is the ability that separates boys from men and helps you claim each and every kill that's rightfully yours, which is all of them! Alright, now that we've talked about Axe's moves, let's talk about Axe's strategy. Step 1, get your shit. That shit's always gonna be 2 stout shields and tangos. Step 2 is to wait on the rune. Make sure to taunt the rune so that it spawns earlier. Step 3 is to simply go to your lane, but not in front of the tower like your normal cowardly heroes. Axe is so manly that he can go behind the enemy's tower and fight the minions head on. The double stout shields are what allow us to do this safely. Don't believe me? Look at Spirit Breaker here. He's stuck in a perpetual state of stun just by the aura of Axe's manliness. Step 4 is let Axe tell his joke.
Witch Doctor! Our enemies are in need of examination!
Okay, couple things before we continue. If you ever go to your lane and see this, then get ready for a really fun lane, because 2 melees on the opposing team in Axe's lane is basically a wet dream. The reason for this is because if they have to get that close to you to attack, then they're going to be right in counter helix range, and as you can see, they're not going to have a good time. And the last thing before we go back is this little map I made all by myself in Paint, and it shows the paths that you're going to want to go depending on the side that you're on. So you're going to want to go up and wait on the rune, and then right there where it says fight on both sides is right where you should be clashing with the first wave of the enemy creeps. So, good job. Alright, now let's talk about supports. Now what makes a good support for Axe when doing this strategy is someone who's ranged. And that's because you're going to need someone to poke at the enemies while they run around crying that Axe is holding back all of their minions. Personally, my favorite support is Disruptor, because no one can stop the Oglodi lane. But really any ranged support works fine. But the most important thing for your support to remember is positioning. If he stands too close, then he risks taking creep aggro away from Axe, which is one of the worst things he can do, and as you can see, it causes a lot of problems. Instead, what you want your support to do is to stand away from the creeps while still in experience range, which is actually deceptively large, and harass the hell out of the enemies. Once you get your tower, and trust me, it will not take long, start roaming around to the other lanes and do the same for them. Axe's playstyle is really just a perfect mixture of manly as hell and fucking retarded. You'll find that by doing things with Axe that for a lot of heroes are basically suicide, the testicular fortitude of Axe allows him to keep going in situations that he has no business being in. Also, it's important to remember that all kills belong to Axe, so if a friendly Bloodseeker decides to take 1 or 2 for himself, kindly let him know that it bothers you, and make sure he knows not to do it again. Alright, finally, items. The thing that lets you take that gold advantage you'll always have against the worthless enemy team and turn it into an even bigger lead. We've already covered the starting items, so let's go ahead and talk about Axe's core items. I'm also going to put the skill leveling up on the screen during this because it's pretty self-explanatory and I don't need to talk about it. First thing I like to rush is Arcane Boots. That's because, let's be honest here, Axe eats mana like a whore. This will keep not only you, but your support good enough on mana until you get your later items, and your support is your bodyguard, so it's good to keep him full. Some people like to argue that Tranquil Boots are better on Axe, and those people are entitled to their wrong opinions. I just prefer Arcane Boots because they can be disassembled to build another core item later on. Next thing you'll want is a Vanguard. This is a really good early game item because it mitigates a ton of the damage you'll be taking, which is fantastic because as Axe, you're going to be taking a lot of damage. Combine this with the bonus armor you get when using your Q, and you can just laugh off the enemy auto attacks. Alright. Now for what is arguably the most important item on Axe, Blink Dagger. Blink Dagger is a low cooldown item that lets you instantly teleport a short distance. This lets you initiate with Berserker's Call, quickly get to that kill that you rightfully earned, or even in a rare defensive use by Axe, get the hell out of a fight and make the enemies feel humiliated. You can basically never buy Blink too early, and if you suddenly have 2150 gold around, you may as well grab it. And now the final core item, the crown jewel, the coup de grace of core items. Disassemble those boots and start building a Bloodstone. Yeah, you heard me, a Bloodstone. So many people like to rush Heart of Tarrasque, and while Heart is good, and we'll most likely pick it up later, Bloodstone is so much better. First of all, it's made from a lot of not-so-expensive parts. Why is that good? Well, shut the fuck up and listen, Gary, because I'm gonna tell you. You're a guy who's always jumping head first into the enemy team without a care in the world, but if you're only 200 gold away from that 3,200 gold Reaver, you're far less likely to want to initiate. And along with giving you some very solid health stats, completely solves your mana problems, lets you spam those skills like they're free. Plus, by the time you do die from initiating, and trust me, you will die at some point, you'll already have enough charges that you'll barely lose any money and your respawn time will be laughable. Seriously, look at that win rate for Bloodstone. Look at it! Fucking look at it! Blade Mail is a fucking awesome item on Axe, because even when some bitch-ass Ursa is deleting your team, you can just turn it on and yell, "Stop hitting yourself! Stop hitting yourself!" and then laugh as you watch him destroy his own pathetic health bar.
Double kill!
Aghanim's Scepter is both an offensive and defensive option for Axe. How is it both? I will fucking tell you why it's both. The sooner you can insta-kill, the sooner they can die and stop attacking you. GG, too strong. After all that, building Axe is extremely straightforward. Assault Cuirass if they have Armor Shred, Heaven's Halberd if they have heavy right-click heroes, Pipe of Insight when they've got a metric assload of casters, Heart of Tarrasque when you need more health, and Shiva's Guard when all of the above. Slap it all together and you've got a recipe for an unstoppable killing machine the enemy team will wish they never ran into! Now, the final thing I want to share with you all is something I honestly don't believe any other Dota 2 player knows about. There's a secret graphics setting that only works when you're playing Axe, and here's how to set it up. Start up a lobby and select Axe. Open up the settings and under Video and Audio, click Advanced. Turn both your shadow quality and your texture quality to high, then click on General and click Apply Resolution. Once you've done that, and in that order, simply click the arrow at the top left to get back in game and see your changes take effect. And there you go! Now you can enjoy your new high-quality textures and a new leopard skin Axe set, courtesy of Valve. Doesn't that look amazing? Well, that's my manly guide to being a man. I think you're ready to put it to work yourself. Now get out there and get yourself some wins. Oh, yeah, and one last thing. I'm not very good at this game.